This is The Download from Sounds Profitable, your daily source for the essential news of the business of podcasting, brought to you by Spreaker from iHeart. I'm Gavin Gaddis. Here's what you need to know for today, Thursday, August 9th. First up, Reversing the Algorithm for Women in Podcasting by Tom Webster. Women make up 51% of the U.S. population, yet according to the gender profile from the podcast landscape, respondents who have listened to a podcast at least once in the past month skew 56% male. Webster proposes podcasting hasn't necessarily lost women as listeners, more that the industry's newest big hit shows are male-driven. There are two actionable solutions that can tip the scale back from becoming one-sided. Promote the nature of podcasting as a companion medium, something that can be done during found time, and to actively put effort into supporting female voices. Proactive curation is a powerful tool. Male hosts actively promoting shows hosted by women will move the needle. Next up from Ad Exchanger's Optimizing the News newsletter, Prebid. According to testimony in the Google antitrust case, the header bidding tech that became Prebid.org would have been an IAB Tech Lab project, but Google shot down the proposal during a board meeting. At the time, the tech was simple JavaScript code and AppNexus designed to be turned into open source by the Tech Lab. But due to Google's board status, the proposal was rejected, leading to Prebid becoming the independent nonprofit organization it is now. For those looking to know more about Prebid, the Prebid Summit is set for October 15th in New York City, featuring a day of presentations and networking, which includes a 25-minute audio breakout session with AudioHook founder Jordan Bentley and Sounds Profitable's own Brian Barletta. Next up, the women's sports revolution is coming to audio. A look at the rapid growth of podcasts focusing on women's sports. While top charts are still predominantly podcasts by men and about men's teams, there has been an uptick of sports podcasts by, for, and about women over the past 5 years. Shows like The Gist of It report a groundswell of not dude listeners for its coverage of both men's and women's leagues. 90% of their predominantly millennial and Gen Z audience identify as women or non-binary. The Athletic Women's Basketball Show has had a 97% monthly download increase since March, with a 49% year-over-year increase in overall female audience. Next up, Hype, giving fans a stake in boosting their favorite emerging creators. YouTube is giving audiences a say in platforming new and upcoming talent. The new Hype feature will come with a new leaderboard of the top 100 most hyped videos in the week. If a video is less than a week old and from a creator with fewer than 500,000 subscribers, users can spend one of their Hype votes to increase the video's Hype score, upping it on that leaderboard. Viewers get 3 free Hypes per week with the ability to purchase more from YouTube. The video's Hype score is independent of the video's performance in recommendations and in search results. And finally, Odd Couples, why unlikely brand collaborations are everywhere. With the amount of ad saturation and average American experiences on a daily basis, it can be hard for brands to stand out, which has led to the rise of quirky or unexpected brand partnerships, creating talked-about limited-run items and experiences. From McDonald's Hamburglar-themed Crocs to Liquid Death teaming up with Elf Beauty to create a coffin-shaped corpse paint makeup kit. The team-ups also allow brands to diversify their following by getting in front of another brand's audience. Velveeta, for instance, went from no Gen Z or younger millennial audience share to building one thanks to creating Velveeta-scented nail polish with nails incorporated, along with a cheesy martini served through BLT Restaurant Group. As for the rest of the news, Smartless Media has announced a new soccer-focused podcast appropriately named Goalless. ARM and National Public Media are set to collaborate on a new podcast series called Tech Unheard. Headliner's automatic posting feature can now share videos to X and Threads. VP and head of Spotify podcast Sahar Elbashi has announced she's leaving the company, which has been covered in Variety. And Audion co-founder Arthur Larry writes about the growing audio industry in Europe. The source for that one is in Italian. Be sure to check out the links to every article mentioned right in your podcast listening app or at soundsprofitable.com, where you can also subscribe to the newsletter version. The Download is written and produced by Newton Shuttlecotti, myself, Brian Barletta, and Tom Webster. This episode is hosted on Spreaker. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Gavin Gaddis. Download us again tomorrow.